All right, guys, April 3rd, put this on your calendar. Angel Oak is going to host Barry Habib, and we're going to be doing a webinar on how to overcome objections in a higher rate environment. Frank, this has always been the case. Do you want to know what rate a client wants?
The lowest rate possible at all times.
No, they want a quarter below whatever's going. It doesn't matter if it's 8% or 3%, that's always the case, and
Right.
Barry's going to help you out with this stuff. He's got great material. Click this banner right over there. So, I'd like you boys and girls to look at this, as the English would call it, advertisement, or as we would call it, an advertisement. Check this thing out. This is not compliant. Now, every lender, they need to take this and send it to HUD and the CFPB today. If you don't, hell, you deserve what you get. There's a link down below for this, so you can go ahead and download that image that we just shared with you and go to consumerfinance.gov. Then, in the upper right-hand corner, click on the Submit a Complaint. Then, click the blue button, which states Start a Complaint. Then scroll down and click Start a Complaint again. Then check the mortgage box, which will open more boxes. Scroll down and click the other type of mortgage, and then type in the box down below, deceptive advertising and fair housing violation. Then click Next. Then click Closing on a loan, and then Next. Then you can explain the problem here, guys, and upload the file right down below. The file, you already have it, we just gave it to you. You need to do this. Ugh.
Now, you need to do it today because, frankly, it'll probably fall on deaf ears.
Right.
As Mick Mulvaney of the CFPB is going to quit publishing consumer complaints.
Right.
In recent testimony before the House Financial Services Committee, Mulvaney said, "I don't see anything in here that says I have to make all of this public. We're going to maintain the consumer database. It is mandated by law. I don't see anything in here that I have to run a Yelp for financial services sponsored by the federal government." He's so awesome.
We've been saying that for so long. It's a Yelp, but the only thing you can do is bitch about things. You can't say, hey, my lender was great. No, it's just an all-negative Yelp. That's what they were doing. God, I love this guy. If I have a daughter, I'm going to name her Mick Mulvaney Stevens. He then went on to say that he wants to change the name of the CFPB back to its original name under Dodd-Frank, which is the Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection, or the BCFP. Which is kind of hard to say because we've been saying CFPB for so long.
Yeah.
Because Mulvaney claims now, and he stated, the CFPB never existed.
Technically, I guess he's right.
You're right.
So further, and this one is going to piss off a lot of people. While speaking to a group of bankers, Mulvaney seemed to imply that banks should give more money to senators and congressmen via lobbying as a means of catching their ear. And when they catch their ears, they should encourage Congress to introduce and pass legislation that would take funding of the CFPB away from the Federal Reserve and put it back with the Treasury, so the CFPB would then be more accountable to Congress. Good thing to do.
It is. And by the way, I want to point this out right now, okay? People are taking what Mulvaney said completely and totally out of context, which we've just become accustomed to. What they're saying is that Mulvaney is telling bankers to pay off Congress to pass lax laws so that they can run roughshod over consumers like you. People like Elizabeth Warren are saying this type of crap, and he never said that, okay? He didn't even suggest that. He believes that the CFPB, the most powerful agency in government, should not be run by one person who is accountable to absolutely nobody.
Makes total sense.
That is the definition of a tyrant, not a director. He's telling bankers to help him persuade Congress to put the CFPB on budget, where we can control the agency's spending and force the agency to be accountable to you and me, the people, right? He never suggested how the Bureau should be run in the future outside of his tenure, just that they should be accountable. Now, how in the world could that be a bad thing, Frank?
Well, you may recall when Richard Corduroy ran the Bureau, He took hundreds of millions from the Fed and essentially thumbed his nose at congressional requests.
Right, he totally did.
Mulvaney, on the other hand, refused any money from the Bureau and wants Congress to take more control and create more transparency.
Right.
Nice thing to do.
Totally.
Finally, under Mulvaney, there's been no new actions taken against banks, and existing investigations have been curtailed. To say that the Bureau is run completely opposite under new leadership might be an understatement.
And I'll tell you what, slush funds, Anonymous, if you guys know any, give us those down below. Now, with that said, get your complaint on the books right now if you so agree with us that the ad is misleading.
And finally for today, according to the National Association of Home Builders, 17% of adults are going to try to buy a house. Ready? Drum roll, please, Garrett. Next month! That's right, next month. A rather odd little survey, don't you think?
I really do. How did they come up with that one? Now, that's down from 24% from a survey run in the previous quarter. So what does this tell us, guys? Well, first, if you're going to buy a house next month, you ought to buy the house right now because it's going to be cheaper with a lower interest rate. And two, people are getting discouraged from buying houses right now because of the nature of our market. If you think about it, Frank, that's true.
Yeah.
Limited inventory, bidding wars on everything. I heard from Patrick Quayle, he said that they had over 100 people at an open house in Boston.
Wow.
That you actually have to hire people to
corral them
in.
Like those lines at the bank or whatever, you gotta go through the lines again.
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts, and it's discouraging people. And what this means, guys, is you all have to work harder and smarter to keep your clients in line. Hard to do with a sweatshop lender in the middle of Ohio who you'll never be able to look them in the eyes, don't you think? Just saying. Hey, by the way, EXP, great real estate company. What they do is you go 7 deep, not 3, you go 7 deep. And they pay you on the gross, not the net. Wonderful, wonderful training. Check out EXP.
Another wonderfully controversial show here, the National Real Estate Post. Maybe tomorrow we'll just have puppies and housing stats, something like that. You guys have a fabulous day. Leave us your comments down below. Forward, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you here tomorrow at the National Real Estate Post.
I sure hear that EXP is growing at a clip like nobody's ever heard before.
They've surpassed 10,000 now.
Really?
It was just like a few weeks ago, they were at 8,000.
The fastest to 10,000 ever.
They're pretty cool.
They're very cool. God,
Check them out.
Their training is just insanely cool. And just the services and the technology that they provide for real estate agents and the ability to earn money. Oh my God, it's absolutely amazing. Did you know you only have to pay $16,000 your first year as a real estate agent, and they give that back to you in the form of stocks?
Yeah, you know what's cool too? What's cool about it too is you don't need brick and mortar at all.
I know.
There's no brick and mortar requirement. That's the thing that really stood out to me about them. And just so you know, we're not on their payroll. We're not connected to them in any way.
No way, shape, or form. But which is really great because if you think about it, when you have these really lavish, giant, brick and mortar buildings, it's nice and all.
It costs money.
They're very, very expensive, and frankly, it's an antiquated, analog way of looking at a digital real estate industry. We got to change with the times.
Yeah. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.